All right. So, I wanted to come in and answer a question that I got. I wanted to share this with you guys, because I know that this is a question that a lot of people have. And so I just want to take a second and answer it. Because this question comes up a lot, and like when you're first starting a business and even like a little ways into it. I've talked to some business owners who are even like 6 months in, and like sometimes they don't pay themselves because they don't know how, and or like how much specifically, and then they're afraid to, and so then they just end up not paying themselves anything. But I know you guys are here to make money. I'm here to make money, and we want to make sure that we are paying ourselves, and doing it in a way that feels good. You know what you're doing. And it's systematic, so like you have a plan, and know what you're doing the whole time. So somebody sent this to me earlier today, so I wanted to take a second to talk about this, and share with you guys what I've been doing for the past like almost a year now, I think, that has really helped me a lot. And like it's made my when I do my finances and my budgeting and all that stuff, it's made it way easier and like streamlined, and I know what I am trying to do. So answering the question, how do I pay myself? Let's get into it, and I will just show you really quick what it is that I do and how I keep track of it. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here. So this is like a sheet that I shared with one of my friends, who was trying to figure out how to do all of this. And she was a person who was having trouble figuring out how much to pay herself every day. And hey, you guys that are on live, comment live if you're here with me right now, or replay if you're catching the replay later on. I'd love to hear from you guys and let me know if this is helpful or not. But Lindsay was not really sure like what she was doing, so I think she just ended up like, either she would pay herself like everything that she made or nothing, and like was just keeping it in one account and wasn't really sure where to put it. And so what I recommend to everybody is to check out the book Profit First. I'll type that in the comments after we're done. But that book like changed my world when it came to managing money for my business. So I highly recommend it. It's by Mike Michalowicz, and it just like makes everything so much clearer in how you should be managing your money. You can hear Coney back there. And so this is basically like what he outlines in this book is, having different accounts and different places that you're going to be putting your money. So I just wanted to put this up as like an example. I do my finance meeting with my business, which is myself, twice a month. So it's usually on the 10th and the 25th of each month. So I know I'm getting a paycheck twice a month, which is really cool. I know that some people like struggle with the fact of like when they should even pay themselves. And so I know twice a month, I'm getting a paycheck. A lot of people just pay themselves once a month, which is also totally fine. Just depends on how often you want to be doing it. Let's see. Marnie says, what's the name of the book again? It's Profit First by Mike Michalowicz. And it's super good. It's really dense, but, I highly recommend going through it. So Profit First by Mike Michalowicz. He has a couple of other books I really like too. So if you're looking for books on entrepreneurship, I would definitely check out the books that he has written. So this is the first thing is I pay myself and do my finances twice a month. So I would decide for yourself, do you want to be doing your finances once, twice a month? Do you want to do it every week? You could if you wanted to. But I find that just twice a month is a little bit better because it's a little bit less intense. No problem. Glad that book is something you guys want to read. So twice a month is good. I do the 10th and the 25th because that's what he says in the book. You could do it on the 1st and the 15th if you wanted, or I know some people will do like the 15th and the last day of the month. Either one's totally fine. And so what you'll notice here is that all of these here, all of these different like spots that are listed, these are all different accounts. So like for me, my income, owner's comp, and expense accounts are all checking accounts. And then my profit and taxes accounts are savings accounts. So my profit account is a high yield savings account. And then the taxes is just a regular savings account. I have all of them through Chase. That's the bank that I use. I know that there's pros and cons to using Chase, but that's the one that I've been using. But like one of the reasons I chose them was because I could have multiple bank accounts. Some of like the free online business bank accounts, even though they're free, which is great, you could only have one account with them. So if you want to do like a truer version of profit first version of finances, then having multiple accounts is something that you need to do. So just if you can imagine, like I have my payment processors and everything set up with my income account. So like Stripe, Square, PayPal, they are all set up to funnel money into the income account. And then from there, on the 10th and the 25th, I sit down and I come into my spreadsheet that's right here, and I plug in the amount of income that I have for that, 2-week period or so. And then right here, you can see I have these percentages outlined here. And these are the percentages that are also suggested in the book. They might vary for you. If you don't really have that many expenses, you might end up paying more in taxes and expenses, or if you want to pay yourself less and put more into savings, that's another thing that you could do, is have like a totally different bank account, savings account for your business that's like literally like just an emergency fund. So that's something else that you could also put together if you wanted to add that in. So the percentages might change, but it's also suggested, I believe, to have your profit be somewhere between like 1% and 5%. So then straight away, like off the top of, the $2,000 that you made, you're not going to take home the $2,000. So like that's a big change, for a lot of people who are accustomed to getting a paycheck, is like all of this stuff is already taken out so that, you just get the one paycheck, you keep all the money. But with this, you get the $2,000 in revenue for your business, and then you have to start piecing it out and figuring out where it's going to go. So having the profit 5% off the top, you put into your profit savings account. 50% of this amount you're going to pay to yourself. 15% you're going to put into your taxes savings account. And then 30% is going to go into your expenses checking account. And so, using an Excel spreadsheet, you could do this by hand if you wanted to, but I have it in a spreadsheet so that it automatically does the math for me, just using the formulas and everything. So then I know exactly how much I'm paying myself on the $2,000 that I brought in the last 2 weeks. I'm paying myself half of it. Amazing. I just got a paycheck. And what's cool about it is that I know that I have the money set aside to pay taxes, pay any expenses, and I'm making a profit. So that's what I really love about the profit first method, is that, it really drives home the fact of like pay yourself first and then live on, or, run your business on the remainder. And what they talk about too is, every time you are doing your finances, you set aside 5% of the income that you made. And then at the end of the quarter, you give yourself a 50% quarterly bonus, which is fun. So like if you keep setting aside $100, 6 times in the quarter, then let's see, what would that be? 100 times 6, and then half of that, a 50% bonus. You get a $300 bonus at the end of the quarter just for being the owner, which is cool. And that's how I'm buying some new gym equipment. At the end of quarter 4, I used my quarterly bonus, which was really cool to be able to do as the owner. So hopefully that makes sense. For you guys watching, I know that there's a handful of you guys here. What questions do you have on this? I know that this was really basic and just a really simple way of looking at things. So please drop questions below. I'm happy to answer them. But, like I said, I highly recommend reading that book and then sitting down with yourself, figuring out where your numbers are, how much money you want to be making, what your expenses are. So if you're gauging that your expenses are only $100 a month, this percentage probably doesn't need to be that high. And you could maybe pay yourself a little bit more or put more towards taxes or increase the profit percentage. But we just want to make sure that we are setting aside the money and putting it in the right places so that, you are definitely getting paid because you're a business owner, and you are bringing in revenue. You need to get paid in order to sustain yourself to continue the business. Let's see. So that is a lot of bank accounts. How do you keep it straight? I use a spreadsheet. I have the different bank accounts. I pull them up in my online banking portal, and then I pull up my spreadsheet, and I did exactly what I just went through. I plug in the amount that's in my income account into the spreadsheet here. And then I just go to the transfer money option in the bank portal and start distributing the money into the accounts. So as long as you have a list and everything, I think that's been really helpful. That's basically all you have to do to keep it straight, I think. And you might just start with an income account and then maybe a profit account and an expenses account or something. It doesn't have to be all of these. You might find a different version that works better for you. But this is definitely something that has really helped me, in making sure I have enough money to pay my taxes. I have enough money to go towards expenses. And I am also getting paid twice a month, which is really important because I talk to a lot of business owners who are not paying themselves. So this is how I suggest paying yourself. This is a Google sheet, but it's a spreadsheet. You can use an Excel spreadsheet too. Does your income account have no minimum, or did you build in a buffer when setting it up? Otherwise, you'd be drawing it to zero each month, right? Yeah, so the way that I do it, maybe there's a better way, but I do just bring it down to zero. And at least as far as I can tell, when the account is zero, I haven't been charged the monthly maintenance fee. But if I am keeping money in that account and it's less than, I want to say $1,500, then there's a monthly maintenance fee. So I just bring the income account down to zero. You could keep the minimum in there. That's totally fine too. If you want to avoid the maintenance fees. Toby says, I love how you broke this down. I'm glad, Toby. Glad that you're here. And yeah, just let me know, when you're done watching this, if you want me to send you a copy of this or put up a screenshot even of just this little box here, if that would be helpful, just drop a comment below and just type in spreadsheet if you want me to leave this here for you guys. But yeah, hopefully that helps. Keep paying yourselves. You're business owners, make your money and keep some set aside for other things. So yeah, just let me know if you have any other questions. Otherwise, make sure you sign up for my webinar next week if you haven't already. And I will talk to you soon.